Hi, it's Mr. K again, and I thought I'd just do a little follow-up video just because a couple of children have been in touch and said that there were some of the harder numbers that were more difficult to work out a half and a quarter of. So I'll just show you a couple of little tactics, a couple of little tricks that you can do. So when I'm doing half of 64, that one actually isn't too bad because I've got, let's do that half there, I've got an even number on both sides, so that bit I can just sort of look at and I know that half of 60 is 30, half of 4 is 2, so no, I'm on 32, so no problems on that bit. This is the bit where it gets a little bit tricky. It's when you've got an odd number in your tens column, that's when it gets a little bit harder. So what I'm going to do is, I've got 32, in my mind I'm going to break that up into, rather than it being a 30 and a 2, I'm going to break it into a 20 and a 12. It still adds up to the same number. It's just a bit easier to halve because I can do half of 20 is 10 and half of 12. Yeah, that's right. Half of 12 is 6. Just having a little moment there. So I know I can have 16 then in each box. So that's a little way of doing it when you've got an odd number. Now this one here is going to be difficult from the beginning because I'm starting off with 92. I'm starting off with the odd number. So rather than going 90 and 2, what I could do is I could say, well, okay, if I have 80 and 12, I can still use that same little trick I just used a minute ago. An 80 and a 12, because that still adds up to 92. That's still worth the exact same. All I've done, I've just shifted over from my tens onto this part here. So instead I could do half of 80 is 40, half of 12 is 6, so that's going to give me 46, just like that. And then got quite lucky really, because that's going to become a bit easier now to work out my quarters, because I know now I've got an even and an even, so that's going to be 23 for me. So 23 there in each one. So just to show you what I mean again one more time, if I've got an odd number, let's go for something like really big. Let's say I'm going to do half of 134, for example. So if I'm working out half of this, and I'll just draw that in actually. The half of the 100 bits, okay, in fact I know that one, I know that's 50, so I'm just going to make a little note of 50 there. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So it's the 34 is the problem. So rather than it being a 30 and a 4, I'm going to view it as being like a 20 and a 14. So I know that half of, just draw my little diagram in there, I know that half of 20 is 10, half of 14 is 7, so that's 17, and then I take that 17, add it onto my 50, and that gives me 67, and then I'm going to stop there because I can't actually do quarters with that one, because this is now an odd number. So when you're halving a number that's odd in the tens column, just try to break it up slightly differently. So if it's, if it's 76, view it as being a 60 and a 16, just like I've done with that one. 92, try and view it as an 80 and a 12, and then that way it's a bit easier to halve. So hopefully that comes in handy, and we will be doing more and more of this as we go along. We've done it a little bit before, but this is all still fairly new to us, and you did a great job today, so hopefully that'll help you as we move on. Thank you very much.